You have the nickname Kung Shao Go, the mad dog. Do you still associate yourself with that nickname, or do you just carry it as like a badge?
The greatest player never to win a world championship. Right region, wrong time. Whatever you call him, whatever you question about him, the thing that can never be doubted is the greatness of Jian Zihao. You know him as Uzi. There are players whose prowess on a champion makes them synonymous with them. Like his former teammate Insec on Lee Sin, Uzi's Vayne quickly became a thing of mechanical beauty, earning him YouTube immortality in the always chills-inducing Rise music video. Due to his relative youth when he arrived on the competitive League of Legends scene, Uzi earned the Puppy nickname as well as the right to be played around due to his skill. Because of his potential to carry games on a hyperscaler, whatever team he was on adopted the raising the puppy strategy. Keep Uzi alive, win games. It was that simple.
Knockback MLG, but he doesn't get it. Misses the ultimate. Crucial cooldown. And the choo-choo trains in the backlines. Everyone's low. Uzi's diving in. Everyone from IG is just going to get taken down. Triple kill being picked up by Uzi. Chasing down the fourth member. Duke's the only one left alive. Penta killed Uzi.
And even if that strategy broke down, you could rely on him pulling a rabbit out of a hat and leaving you in open-mouthed awe. Like many great competitors, the priority for Uzi was winning, at any cost.
He's caught, he's silenced, he's feasted, but he's not dead yet. Finally, Xiaohu takes him down. Royal never give up. The quadra kill for Uzi.
And being the center of a team's win condition wasn't always rosy. Throughout his career, he's carried with him a reputation of putting immense amounts of pressure on himself to be perfect every day, and by extension, one for being hard to play with. But when the results came like they did for his RNG squad, no one really cared too much. Just ask Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. He told Keen Lam in a 2016 interview that his perceived toxicity is born from a desire to win. He said, "There are times when I'm super focused on winning, and when my teammate makes a mistake, I get a little overexcited, so I comment more aggressively. It's because I want to win though. I care a lot about the game." And win he did.
The prophecy has been fulfilled. Uzi now reigns as king. Royal, never give up. Champions.
Despite his relative lack of titles, he holds almost every single individual record in the LPL, and the competitive accolades speak for themselves. First player to make back-to-back finals appearances? Uzi. More career Worlds appearances than Faker? Check. Make all of those appearances for one org and make them the most historically great team in your region? Yep. MSI? Done. All by the age of 22? Easy. Worlds? Well, in any team competition, the conversation around the GOAT, and even greatness itself, is an oft-debated but ill-defined, toxic, polygamic mess of a relationship between number of titles, individual skill, a killer instinct and ability to will your teammates to victory, the talent in those teammates, the era and league they played in, the competition they beat, and all of the other factors in an endless list of Reddit and Twitter-ready metrics. Every great player checks those boxes to varying degrees, and Uzi is no exception. Like many crownless kings in any sport, part of the reason Uzi never won the big one was because he ran into a dynasty. Faker and SK Telecom T1 were the crown jewel of Korean League of Legends, and the first time they met Uzi's Royal Club in the 2013 finals, it was a clash between two of the game's budding stars. SKT trounced Royal Club 3-0 that year, marking the start of a period of Korean dominance, whether the world knew it at the time or not. Uzi and Faker's destinies would become intertwined in the coming years, with the former carrying an entire country's hopes of taking down Korea on his back. They would come tantalizingly close on multiple occasions, but until 2018, that dream was a nightmare. Despite 2 World's Finals appearances in 2 years with Royal Club, Uzi signed with domestic rivals OMG in 2015 in an earth-shattering move.
1v1, can he get it? He will! Uzi goes big, but he will get polymorphed killed.
Despite the sky-high expectations, they didn't even qualify for Worlds that year. It remains the only time in his career that Uzi has missed the tournament.
All of that time spent farming, he should be sweating.
He's shiny, yeah.
That was intense.
That was intense, the vein.
After spending Spring Split 2016 on Chaogu Reapers, Uzi finally made his homecoming in summer of that year, leading RNG roaring back to Worlds despite getting gashed 3-0 in the domestic summer finals by Edward Gaming. Both RNG and EDG made it into quarters, but EDG got 3-1'd by Korea's Rox Tigers, while RNG met their end at the hands of Faker and SKT, again. In 2017, RNG finished first in the spring and summer regular seasons, only to lose both domestic finals. Uzi was running out of room in his chest of silver medals, but his trophy case was still empty.
When you hear about people talk about Uzi, it feels like he inspired like the second generation of marksman players a lot of time around the world. Like everyone wanted to be Uzi's fate.
Again, they qualified for Worlds, and again, they and the region as a whole closed the gap on Korea. Both semifinals were LPL versus LCK. The prospect of an all-Chinese final, however, fell apart in brutal fashion. WE lost to Samsung Galaxy 3-1, and on the other side of the bracket, Uzi and RNG lost a 5-game series to, who else? Faker, by then known as the unkillable Demon King and SKT. SSG's win over SKT in the 2017 finals marked the 5th straight World Championship for Korea and the 3rd straight All-LCK final. The region's success was a when, not an if. For Uzi and the rest of the LPL, the question of when became almost mockery. It was deja vu all over again. Close, but not enough. Some players are great because they flat out dominate front to back. Others have to lose over and over and over again and have victory snatched away from their fingertips repeatedly, maybe even by the same foe. Let's be honest, the second kind is a far more captivating story. Coming into 2018, Uzi had been on 3 different teams and won 0 titles of any kind. The proverbial silver medal hung heavy around his neck. And with a loaded Invictus Gaming poised to make a leap, it was now or never for Uzi and RNG. He rose to the occasion and then some. RNG won both spring and summer titles in 2018, giving Uzi his long-awaited first championship. But MSI 2018 was arguably his career's biggest moment. King's own Dragon X represented what many believed would be the LCK's latest kryptonite to throw at Uzi, regardless of his resurgence. The 2 teams met in the tournament's finals as arguably the 2 best teams in the world. And with RNG up 2-1 over Kingzone, with Uzi 1 win away from immortality, he did what any GOAT would have done. He took the series by the throat and crushed the Korean Giants with a truly awesome Kaisa performance.
Try and escape. The inhibitor will fall middle. There goes Let Me Soul. It's caught up by Khan. You've got the ultimate available. Gorilla is not going to be able to save him. And Kingzone Priest is in tatters for the first time ever. RNG's chase. Royal never give up. Rule the world. Winning MSI 2018.
RNG's victory over Kingzone at MSI marked the first time that an LPL team had beaten an LCK team in an international final since MSI 2015, and only the 2nd time ever. Uzi was now a 2-time domestic champion and an MSI champion.
Listen to France as they are cheering for Uzi.
Uzi walking out towards his cup, towards his destiny to claim his first international victory.
Royal never give up on your MSI 2018 champions.
But he would end 2018 still without a Worlds Championship. At Worlds 2018, Chinese teams outnumbered the Korean ones coming out of the group stages for the first time ever. It was a long-awaited tipping point in the balance of world power in the esport, and right at the center was China's great hope. Fresh off a dominant 2018 that had belonged to Uzi and RNG in every respect. Then, Worlds got weird. In a year with no Faker at Worlds, RNG squared off against Europe's G2. They and Fnatic were the super teams that represented the talent consolidation taking place in Europe. Yet more evidence that International League of Legends was no longer just Korea's stomping grounds. G2 upset RNG 3-2 in what felt like a shot to the leg to China's title hopes. But Invictus Gaming and its three-headed carry monster of the Shy, Rookie, and Uzi's heir apparent Jackie Love tonked G2 3-0 in semis and then disposed of Fnatic in the same way in the finals. China had finally arrived. The tragedy of Uzi's career arc came to a fitting pinnacle, when the region that he shepherded through the International League of Legends wilderness for years finally came out victorious on the other side. Who got the formal recognition? Who got to lift the Summoner's Cup? Not Uzi. As domestic and Korean talent and money flooded into China, the region steamrolled its way to back-to-back World Championships in 2019 thanks to Fun Plus Phoenix, and was a combined 6-0 in those finals matches. Meanwhile, in their worst ever Worlds finish, RNG didn't even make it out of groups that year. As RNG geared up for 2020, hopes were still high despite some warning signs around Uzi's health. He regularly took time off for maintenance around his well-known hand and wrist injuries, but the absences were becoming more and more frequent. Then, in June of 2020, Uzi announced his retirement. The League universe stopped. Doctors had told him that the physical damage already done to his shoulder, wrist, and hand would only get worse if he continued the lifestyle necessary for him to compete at the highest level. He said in an interview that he was told by medical professionals that his arms were like those of a 40 or 50-year-old. And as if that wasn't enough, he was also diagnosed with diabetes. He also cited chronic stress, obesity, and an irregular diet, along with mental side effects caused by the medications he took to manage his diabetes, as reasons behind his decision to retire.
常规的运动员，他们的就是健身已经是他们就是训练的一部分了。但是健身在我们这个领域中就不是我们训练的一部分。
This mountain of health issues that resulted from practicing, sitting in front of a computer for double-digit hours almost every single day from age 15 to 23. With a solitary focus on being as close to perfect as he could, on being the greatest player of all time, had finally pushed him to the brink. In a backwards way, that's what made him great. For Uzi, the priority was winning at any cost.
Bye.